And we are live. Greetings, everyone out there on YouTube. I know I'm a day late with this one, but you know what? White man was holding me back. So, but we finally got this one. Finally got this one up and going. So, real quick, I got to go ahead. Got to mute some audio. Sorry about that. But yeah, finally live. And got some company with me tonight. Got some friends with me tonight. So first and foremost, this is Larry Williams, OAW Editor-in-Chief. That's the proper title. That's the proper moniker. I'm going to start using it more often because I need to start using it. And this evening I'm joined, first and foremost, I want to give a shout out to this brother. I don't know the last time he was on the channel, but ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching this live stream, we have with us tonight one of the OAW originals. I'm talking about one of the OGs, one of the first. That's my man, big man Ryan Jones. Holla at the people. Tell them what's up.
Yo, it's your boy Ryan Jones. I'm back again, man. Came back out the woodshed. I had to come out for this one. Endgame was a big movie. My man, Big Larry, the editor-in-chief over there, asked me to come swing through. So I figure I'll oblige him, come back. It's like wearing an old hat again, man. I feel my power coming back, baby. I feel my power coming back.
Got that infinity gauntlet on. You're just like, ah. That's what's up. That's what's up. And second, I got my man over at Random Black Gamer. He came through for another live stream.
Hey, it's always a joy to be in a stream with my boy Larry, OAW Entertainment. Yeah, it feels great to be back on the rebranded OAW Entertainment, man. Like I have been just rocking with this guy since I did one of my first video responses to him back when YouTube was in its glory days and the reply video was an actual thing. So yeah, feels good.
Yeah. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. So we decided to go ahead and join our forces because we're here to bring you all our review of Avengers Endgame. So as of this live stream, Endgame's been out for about 2 days now because it released Thursday night. Now, before we get into this review, just gonna let everybody know here and now, we will be discussing spoilers in this video. In this live stream, we will be discussing spoilers. So if you have yet to see the film, I highly recommend, by all means, go ahead, pause this stream now. If you're watching this live, go ahead and hop out. No hard feelings. You know, you ain't gonna hurt my feelings. You know what I'm saying? It will be available for you when you come back. And if you're watching this after the fact, if you still haven't seen the film, by all means, pause it now. Go check this one out. But in the immortal words of Craig from Friday, come back. Come back. Check out our review. But yeah, we're going to go ahead. We're going to discuss spoilers in this one. And what I'll also do is we'll go ahead. We'll have this one going for about maybe an hour or so, depending on how deep the discussion goes. And then we'll open it up for questions afterwards. Now, I do want to go ahead and preface this by saying that questions pertaining strictly to this film will have top priority. Ideally, those are the questions I want to tackle from you guys tonight, because any questions dealing with, like, you know, future plans for the MCU, speculations on what could happen moving forward with some other projects and some other characters, that I actually want to save for another live stream. But for this one, we're going to be talking strictly about Endgame. That being said, though, if y'all drop some 5 on it, if y'all drop super chats tonight, super chats always have priority. And regardless of what the super chat is asking, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to answer it. Super chats are open right now. Also, if you're inclined to donate directly to me, where I get a bigger cut, because of course YouTube does take 30% of all super chats. If you want to you know, your full donation to go to me, please feel free. Hit me up on PayPal. Link is in the description box below. Now, that being said, here's the other thing too. One final thing I got to mention. Even though this is a spoiler review, and we will be discussing spoilers in this live stream, like I said, if you are watching live and you haven't seen it, feel free to hop off now. If you're watching after the fact and you haven't seen it yet, feel free to jump off now. But keep this in mind. The comments are dark and full of spoilers. I can't necessarily tell my viewers not to drop spoilers in the comments. Just be advised, there are always spoilers in the comments. So carry yourselves accordingly. But with that being said, let's go ahead and let's kick off this review. And I want to do this, we'll pretty much do this round robin, round table like we usually do. But let's start things off with, gentlemen, your general overall thoughts of Endgame. I'm talking about like a brief, concise, like umbrella statement of the film. Give me your thoughts on that, and we'll start it off with Big Ryan Jones.
All right. If I'm gonna try to sum this up really, really concise. It tied everything together, and it finished everything off very neatly. But I feel that the movie was very slow, but it was the ending that the fans deserved. That's how I felt about it. It was a very slow build up, but it tied everything together very neat. And as Casper the Anime Geek said, it was crazy. Towards the end, it sped up, but it was a slow burn. They definitely wanted you to feel good before they dropped the hammer on you.
All right, cool. How about you, Random Black Gamer?
I agree with Big Ryan. Like, I think it was a little slow, but it was like a roller coaster. You're building up, and you got your lap bar down because you're going to go on an intense ride, but it has to build up and get on that hill first before it goes to that epic drop. Like you're on the Texas Giant. Once it does, it's like it's all worth it. It's like everything that's accumulated to this point for the past 10 years. It was just crazy. And it's a high watermark in the MCU that's it's gonna be hard. Like a freaking skyscraper built by man has a better chance of reaching the Earth's atmosphere than any other movie scratching this movie's surface in terms of what it did. It was just a preternatural thing that it did. So yeah, the movie was amazing, man. My tear ducts are still broken. I'm trying to recuperate from it, but damn it, I gotta give this movie praise because it's kind of up there with The Winter Soldier and my other favorite, Guardians of the Galaxy 1.
Okay, cool
So,
deal.
yeah.
Cool deal. I will, my general overall thoughts, surprisingly, I won't necessarily hold this film up to that with that much esteem. And that's mainly because this film was pretty much what I thought it would be. And funny enough, I've actually shared this with a couple of friends I've talked to since I've seen it. This film was what I thought it was going to be, not coming from 2019 Larry Williams. I'm talking about 2012 Larry Williams. When we saw Thanos at the end of Avengers 1, and I thought, okay, at some point in time, we're gonna have to deal with this dude. We're gonna do the whole Infinity War, Infinity Gauntlet storyline and all that type of thing. And I'm thinking, all right, well, once we do that, how is this whole thing gonna end, right? Mm-hmm. Well, this is that ending. This is exactly how I thought it would, and and in some instances, how I thought it actually should have ended. And I'll get into a little bit more detail about that later in this review. But by and large, yeah, it was pretty much what I thought was going to happen. Going back to my in-game expectations video, a lot of what I called actually did happen. And but in terms of like where it racks up with the rest of like the MCU and that pantheon and whatnot, this is what, the 22nd film. So I'd argue it's in the top 10, definitely. I can't put it up there with Winter Soldier though. I can't put it up there with Winter Soldier.
Same.
I don't know if I can put it up there with Black Panther. And it would be difficult for me to put this above the first one, truth be told.
Okay.
Because I still consider the first Avengers to be the best of the Avengers series.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
So, but it is like still a good movie. Surprisingly, more concise than I thought it'd be. Not as convoluted as I thought it would be.
Same.
It is very much streamlined, and it is very much a direct. And how about this, guys? This is a standalone movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is Infinity War Part 2, but this is still its own contained story.
Oh yeah, I think that Infinity War was more of Thanos' story because you had to actually build off of that character since he hasn't had that much screen time. He's just been the man in the dark, So they had to give him that spotlight, and other characters they were kind of pushed to the back, like Cap. He kind of found himself back in that spot that he was in Avengers 1, where he wasn't really at the, he wasn't the man of the show. It was more of like Iron Man, but Thanos was Iron Man up in Infinity War. But in this one, you get a well balance of everybody, getting a good closing arc and a good bookend.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's see. So right now, let's go ahead and let's jump into. Let's go ahead and let's jump into the story. Let's actually talk about what goes on in Avengers Endgame. All right, so like I said, not very convoluted, pretty straightforward, pretty direct. This movie is about time travel.
Mm-hmm.
The whole movie is about time travel. I thought they would use that as a gimmick, but it's the whole crux of this film.
Yep.
So essentially Endgame, we pick up immediately after Infinity War, and that's our prologue, right? So that's our prologue for the film, pretty much setting us up for what the status quo will be throughout the course of Endgame. So we get the direct aftermath, we get the reunion of the original team and whatnot. And then after that, we time skip, we jump into a new status quo. And from that point on, we're pretty much given the story of the world without the missing. Right? Yeah. Where pretty much anybody who survived the end of Infinity War, we pretty much get a glimpse into what their life is 5 years removed from that event. We see what pretty much the state of the world, the state of people and whatnot. And it's not until Ant-Man, who, let's be real about this, Ant-Man is the hero of this story. Let's be honest.
I'd like to disagree. I think the rat is the hero of the story.
Oh yeah, no. Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So the rat is the hero because had he not pressed that button, we wouldn't have gotten Ant-Man. Mm-hmm. But once Ant-Man's introduced into the story, now the main plot, the main conflict, if you will, progresses, because now at this point it's like, all right, we're 5 years removed. We know what has happened, or at least Ant-Man learns what has happened, and then he's the one that comes up with the idea for time travel. And essentially his plan is a time heist. If the Infinity Stones are what caused this incident to happen, then you know what? Let's forget all the malarkey. We not changing events. We not even trying to beat Thanos. Let's just get what caused this to happen in the first place. Let's just nab the stones. We'll nab the stones and we'll snap everybody back to this time period. Simple, plain, right? Like, and think about it. That's a pretty good plan because once again, we ain't trying to undo the past, and we ain't even trying to tangle with Thanos. We just trying to use what he used and use it for our interest instead of his. Simple enough, right? But of course, it's time travel. And if it was that easy, well, then we would have been doing it. That's not a shot at Doc Strange. I'm just saying we would have been doing it, right? Mm. So that, and essentially that's where the film takes us. The heroes have to once again assemble, and they have to use their collective forces, collective reasoning, resources, skills, and whatnot to try and pull off what is essentially referred to in the film as a time heist. because that's what they're doing. The plan is to go back to these specific points in time throughout the MCU and nab the Infinity Stones, bring them back to the present, perform another Infinity Snap, and bring everybody back who from the end of Infinity War back to the present time. That's it. Of course, they run into some snags with that because, like every good time travel story, once you start influencing time, time is going to respond. So it's not just, it's not like watching a rerun of a television show. No, guess what? Those writers of that TV show, they can make revisions. And essentially what we end up getting is we get the team from present day going up against Thanos and his crew from a few years ago. And that pretty much culminates in another big battle for us until finally, of course, the heroes manage to pull it off. But so yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the story in the nutshell. But I'll go ahead and I'll pass it to you guys. First off, Mr. Jones. So okay, here's my first question. Let me start with a question. Let me put it to you like this. Given that rundown, right? How did you feel about that story? Like from in terms of how did you feel about the idea of it from a conceptual standpoint, and then how do you feel about the actual execution of it?
Conceptually, what they did with time travel, it was something that eventually I knew they were going to have to do, especially looking at all the events that happened in the previous movie, and then looking at uh, how much Doctor Strange in that time stone, like how protective he was of it, how just in how much Doctor Strange set up the idea that time travel is it with the stakes that they're playing with. Time travel is the only way they're ever going to be able to fix something like this. And the way Endgame set it up, it was kind of what I knew. And Ant-Man also did that. When I realized that when you saw Scott Lang go into the quantum realm, I had a feeling you were going to come out and say, hey, look, quantum realm operates differently. It's like hyperbolic time chamber in Dragon Ball Z. Time flows so differently in the quantum realm. And the quantum realm is a place that connects everything. So you could pop out at another point in time by traveling through the quantum realm. And I did like the way that the film sat there and set that up. I thought that was clever. I thought it was ingenious. And of course, that setup was used for a gag when they were talking about Back to the Future. How, oh, well, you can't go back and meet your past self. Don't bet on any sporting events, stuff like that. I thought that was really hilarious how they set that up. But the execution of it was, for the most part, it was okay. There were some parts I thought, okay, you should have done this a little bit better. You should know how things are gonna happen. And then there were some parts that I thought were done really well. In particular, how Banner met with the Ancient One. How she even knew, hey, you're not supposed to be here. Like, she just immediately figured it out. You're from another point in time. I can't give you this stone. You shouldn't be here. And right then and there, how the Ancient One figured it out. Oh shit, Strange was right. Strange was meant to be the best of all of us. If he did this 5 years in the future, that means that he knows something's wrong and that something terrible does happen. And also the idea about when Loki picks up the Tesseract and just bamps himself out of existence. I was thinking to myself, you know what? That was clever because that's something Loki would do. Loki hadn't gone through that character arc yet. But then there were certain other things like, Tony Stark getting knocked out by having Hulk come through the door. Well, you've already lived that day. You know that this is gonna happen. You should know that certain things are gonna happen. So the execution of it was good in some parts, kind of silly on others, but overall I think they did a good job with it. Especially with how they tied everything together using the quantum realm. I thought that was ingenious. I thought that was a great way to write yourself out of a corner, and B, when the Ancient One told Hulk, you have to return these stones back to their points in time where you took them. Otherwise, you'll cause a ton of alternate realities, and we don't need that. I thought that was clever. That was a great way for the writers to A, write themselves out of that corner and put themselves in with time travel, and B, put the bow on top of this wonderful gift that was the MCU. They have ensured that these characters have completed their arcs. There is no going back this time. There is there is no going back this time. That's it. Everything that
Mhm.
happens now is permanent. And I thought that was a great way of them kind of making sure that fans don't come out and say, "Oh, but you forgot about this, you forgot about that." No, it's done.
Hmm.
We done, son. We done.
100% done.
Yeah,
All
buddy.
right. What about you, Random Black Gamer?
First of all, I just got to give credit to the marketing team because they only showed us a fraction of this movie, and that's basically just the gist of what happened in the aftermath of Infinity War because we didn't know what the hell was going on with the other half of the film, just that beginning part, you know. And I think this is an introductory to the multiverse of the MCU, if I'm not mistaken because of all these consequences and stuff like that. And, you know, the big talk about Disney Plus, I'm thinking that some of these instances are going to play a factor into some of the future pilots and shows that we have up in the Disney Plus Marvel Studios, like Loki and his story, and you have Black Widow and all these other characters. So whatever they're going to do with them. Yeah, but I really, really dug what they did with it. And this movie, even though it has all these cliche tropes like time travel, big ups to my boy Ant-Man for being the audience surrogate, you know, and kind of poking fun at some of the things that we would, you know, be like, oh man, that's like Back to the Future. And this right here, what? You know, it's very self-aware. So I got to give it credit for that. You know what I'm saying? And I really, really enjoyed how every character, you know, like you see certain instances that are like like direct references, you know, it caters to the audience. You know, no matter what film you see, you're gonna, you know, be involved because you're gonna see references that hark back to previous films like the first Avenger and stuff like that. So it's basically like a loyal fan reward, you know what I'm saying? Like I had a few issues with it pertaining to characters that I didn't like how they were represented, like my boy Thor and Hulk, because I am not fond of Professor Hulk at all. You know, like from a visual standpoint and his physicalities, you know what I'm saying? Because I hated it when I was reading it as a kid because I didn't like that this nigga, you big as the Hulk, you got the personality, but you want to choose to like be the stereotype. You want to be the nerd stereotype. You want to wear the glasses. You're basically your cousin, nigga. You're Jennifer. What do you need with glasses? You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? And you can jump from anywhere. So why the hell are you riding up in a truck? It's for comedic purposes, but come on, there's something that they still haven't really showcased with the Hulk in the MCU, and it's pretty bad too because I know there are a lot of people that bring out their pitchforks for MCU Hulk because he's just been nerfed gradually through every film. So that was one of my biggest gripes. And then my boy Thor, which I think the comedic tone works well with him because he has had like one of the most, I want to say probably the best kind of character growth because he was such a stoic character and now he has more range, especially with Chris Evans seeing what he can do, that he can play up his character more and give it more personality, and people seem to enjoy that. Uh, like I think Captain America though, like Cap probably has to me the best ending character arc in the entire MCU and probably the best trilogy out of any superhero film trilogy because it consistently got better. It didn't go down, it just went up. So I love what they did with him and I love what they did with Iron Man. Like my thoughts are all over the place, man. It's kind of off the cuff. I didn't really come prepared for anything. So yeah, man. Like that's my thoughts. Stellar what they did with it, you know, minor some of the things that I didn't like, minus that.
I thought so too. I think out of all the characters, Cap had the best ending. I think it was the most appropriate ending for Cap. On top of that,
Yeah.
it's a great way to respect the idea that Captain America, he's he said something. The conversation he had with Captain Marvel in Rocket during the film kind of encapsulates how Cap feels. How he goes, "Hey, I know that dealing with outer space things is more of your idea of what is more of your territory, but we need your help now." I think it was Cap realizing that not that it's necessarily out of his league, but I think Cap realized it was his time, and I also remember the conversation that he had with Tony back in the first Avengers. How he says, you aren't gonna. It was something to the effect of, you won't be you when it comes time to make the big sacrifice play. Are you gonna be the one to step up and do it? And and Tony also had that conversation with Cap where he's telling him you need to live life. You can't keep living in the past. And Cap actually, ironically, does live in the past, and he lives his life, and he gets to have his happy ending. And that was, to me, that was a great way to again tie everything together. Um, I feel like the reason why I said what I said about this movie is because looking at all these character endings, they didn't do as much as I thought they would to advance the state of the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Mm-hmm.
more like, hey, we're gonna close a chapter on this book. They gave us a little they gave us a little bit of a tease with Thor joining up with the Guardians on their ship on the Benatar. That they give us a little tease about, hey, this is what's going to be happening next. This is what you're going to see in Volume 3. But as far as everything else goes, it seemed to me that they were very much intent on saying, on letting fans know this is the goodbye movie. This is the movie where you say goodbye to all these characters. Say bye-bye to Banner. Say bye-bye to Iron Man. Say bye-bye to Captain. Say bye-bye to Widow, to Ronin, Hawkeye. Say goodbye to these characters. They're not coming back. And so I feel like the movie spent too much time setting that up, and the ending part of the movie was rushed. That's why I said it was very slow. They spent the first 2 hours setting up all these pieces to, well, first two and a half, to where in the final 30, 45 minutes, knock all this down. Um, and I kind of had a problem with that because I thought the movie was going to be bigger.
Mm. I think the
Because Age of Ultron did the opposite of that. Action wise, Age of Ultron was a bigger movie.
yeah,
This movie felt more like, hey guys, we got to do the epic final battle, so let's assemble a crew, let's get everything together, let's kind of do the epic final battle. And it felt like they were more focused on setting up the pieces for the end, and setting up the endings rather than setting up that climactic final battle. That final battle didn't feel like a climactic battle to me. The first Avengers Infinity War movie, that felt like an epic final battle. When they had that final stand in Wakanda. That felt epic to me. And a lot of that also to me has to do with who I think has been the dullest character in MCU so far, Captain Marvel.
mm,
Cause once Captain Marvel showed up, it was over. It's like there was no more drama there. There was no more suspense.
I kind of
Because
disagree.
we well, we've
It
seen we've seen how strong she is in Captain Marvel. She is, for
it
all
didn't
intent
matter shit. It didn't
for,
matter
for
shit.
all for all
Thanos hit
intents
her
and
with that two
purposes.
piece and a biscuit, and it was done.
No, no.
right. It's like he knocked her off
He
the
hit her with the
tree,
Power
bro.
Stone, and that's what finally got her off of him. But before that, she was handling up on that man. It wasn't even funny.
Hang on, real talk.
He headbutted her point blank range, and she just looked at him, man, like, that's all you got? And she
Yeah, which
pulled
is
out
why
that
he put
power
that
stone.
power stone on her.
I'm just saying. I just knew once Captain Marvel showed up, I was like, well, that's it. Pack up, y'all.
Here-
Go home.
here-
Goku's
here-
here.
here's my response to that, Ryan. Though I think first and
Oh no.
foremost,
Oh no,
first and
dude.
foremost,
He defeated her, but I'm just saying it just felt that way to me when she showed up because of how powerful they wanted to make her seem.
so here's the thing. I agree with a portion of what you said in terms of how the final battle wasn't as climactic as Infinity War, but I think that's the reason why. We got that battle in Infinity War, so
Right.
we didn't really need to do it again. But the fights were a hell of a lot more. Dude, that Cap, Tony, and Thor versus Thanos fight,
Oh yeah.
that was
That was good.
real.
Mhm.
That was real. So and that's what I'm saying. And then even funny enough, dude, even oddly enough, even Natasha and Black Widow and Hawkeye's fight, even their fight, I think, was much better than the the big battle at the end. So that's what I'm saying. Like I think like the fights I think was supposed to be the highlight, whereas the big overarching battle, well, we already got that last movie, so that's why that one was just kind of.
Yeah, that's why I say like Infinity War pretty much gave you all of the just the good nerd nut fest of fights. We had gotten so many of them, and to me, like I hate to compare it to this franchise, but that was like the Transformers of the MCU, because you know how Transformers, they love to transition to different locations and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That movie does that a lot, and thank God. I know you're kind of relieved about this when you went into the movie, Larry. They didn't put the cheap Windows media overlay like location words on the screen. Kind of moved it to the side a little bit.
Oh, that was my pet peeve in Civil War, bro.
New Asgard, please drive slowly.
Right.
That was my pet peeve in Civil War. But but anyway, Ryan, but I think that's why that is. So I do agree with you, but I understand why they did it, and I'm not too mad about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that they needed to build up to. I mean, we had a 5-year time skip, so we had it to, we had to have that downtime, and it makes these characters feel alive, man. They breathe like we breathe, and they grieve like we grieve. So, like, I didn't necessarily have a problem with it. The pacing was pretty decent for a 3-hour runtime, and I guess you can say the comedy added a little balance to it, so we didn't get too bored and you didn't hear too many sighs in the theater. So,
and you didn't get too sad, because I will say for me, one of the highlights of that movie was seeing Thor after the time skip.
Yeah.
To see Thor Lebowski.
Yeah,
that right there. I died laughing. I died in my seat. I was. Oh my god.
Dude, when they found Thor, bro, I was just like, bro. Dude, when he gets on the mic with the kid, when he gets on the headset with the kid playing video games, I'm like, bruh.
Oh, Thor, you called me a dickhead again.
Dude, Thor had me going.
Does anybody find it funny though that there have been 3? I think there were like at least 3 directors from the MCU featured in this movie.
Yes, they were.
I don't know. I just thought that was funny.
Yeah, because well, dude, there was a lot of cameos because so Joe Russo was the dude that was telling the story in the group meeting that Cap was in.
Yeah.
And he's one of the Russo brothers. He's one of the directors. Dude, Jim Starlin is in that group. Did you see Jim Starlin?
I was gonna bring that up.
Yep.
Dude, Jim Starlin was in that group. And for those of you all watching, Jim Starlin is the creator of Thanos.
He needed that, man. Marvel did him so wrong when they forced him to stop writing for the character.
Yeah. So yeah, that was, dude, there was a bunch of cameos. Here's another thing too. I'll throw this out here. Were y'all surprised at how many cameos we saw of old actors?
Yeah, I was surprised at some of them.
Yes.
Like, what's her name that plays in Thor? I did not expect
Valkyrie.
Natalie Portman.
Yeah, Natalie Portman.
Yeah, I didn't expect her to be in the movie either. Now I heard someone say like, "Oh, that was footage that looks like deleted scene footage." Even still though, like I didn't expect her to pop up. I thought that was funny. Let me see. So Random Black Gamer.
Mm-hmm.
Same question that I posted to Ryan earlier. Like in terms of the story, specifically the time heist itself.
Yeah.
How did you think the conceit worked? Right, what do you think of the conception of it and then the actual execution of it?
Well, I think if you're gonna have Ant-Man, kind of, actually exploring that particular element, I think it was brilliant because that's what his subgenre was all about. He was the heist guy. Like I really love that, and I also love the fact that they had to get one of the most kept secret things that was highly guarded, the Pym particle, which I'm pretty sure Hank Pym is probably like headbutting the wall, like, why did you give these niggas my shit? I'd rather just stay dead, because he did not want to get that Pym particle up, But I really enjoyed it, man. Like I liked how everything was because it like they gave us so many good money shots and basically I don't know how to say this, like breaking the fourth wall behind the scenes of stuff that happened in the aftermaths of all those movies. Especially Avengers 1. Like Avengers 1 was probably my favorite time skip or time jump that they went to. Like I thought it was executed to the best of their abilities of what they can do. It's a few things that I could gripe about, but it's kind of like Dragon Ball Z, the way they handle time jumps and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's going to have like some ripple effects and certain things are going to be off. But, like I said earlier, I just think of it as just like introducing us to the multiverse element that's going to be added probably later. And somehow like this big ripple effect could introduce us to things like mutants, perhaps, or something like that.
I don't think they're gonna do that.
Yeah. So here, real quick. So here's my thing about that. And I'll chime in with my thoughts on the question real quick. So in terms of the whole time travel conceit bit, like I know I've said this on camera at actually I can tell you exactly. Go for anybody who's seen. Actually, I want to see in the comments right now. Leave a 1 in the comments for anybody watching the stream who has seen my Legends of Tomorrow reviews, because y'all know I go in on the whole time travel bit in that series, in those reviews, in those videos. So I've talked at now that I think about it, I've talked ad nauseum about my issue with stories and how they handle time travel and whatnot. And I've gone on record many a time saying that the only time I've actually seen time travel done in a way that made sense, that sort of didn't break its rules, this is that, and the third was DBZ, the way they handled time travel in that. Mm-hmm. Now, funny enough, because people were mentioning it in the comments below, and you even brought it up, Random Black Gamer, where you were talking about like they handle it the same way. Not really, though. Not really. Remember how the Ancient One explains the way it works.
Yeah.
You only create a different branch when you have changed that timeline.
Yeah.
But so long as you're able to keep it intact, it is one timeline. It's one stream. All right, it's one stream. Now, the second that you start changing the events so much to where you're altering that timeline's future, then you create a branch. Then it starts to break off.
Okay.
But if you repair it, it goes back to that same stream. And see, and because that's the way the time works in the film. Notice, remember, when they brought everybody back at the end of the film, the future didn't change.
Right.
They just appeared at that point in the present, but nothing about the present had actually changed. And that's because they didn't change history. You feel me?
Mm.
So actually, in that regard, I actually think it's better than the way DBZ handled it.
Oh, absolutely so.
Because because it because it it discourages paradoxes.
Mm.
Like it makes it difficult for you to create a paradox because each time they went back into the past and then came back into the present, they weren't actually changing their future. You feel me? So
Yeah.
for an example, this is what I mean. For an example, when shit, I'm trying to think of one. Okay, how about this? When Loki stole the Tesseract, right? When Loki stole the Tesseract in the past, he didn't suddenly appear in the future. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Even though he would have been able to, because just him escaping Avengers custody means that he would have never gone back to Asgard in the Dark World, which meant all of the events that happened there would have never happened. We don't know what Loki, dude. We don't know where or what Loki could have been doing, but it could have very easily been, oh, he escaped their custody back in 2012, which means he wasn't around when Thanos took out half the Asgardians in 2018. So then he could have just popped back up in 2019. That never happened.
Right.
Right.
Never happened.
Because the changing of that event did not affect the future.
Right. It can't affect their present because the past has already happened.
Exactly.
But what they could do was change the future of that particular timeline that they went to. Their own present was unaffected by what they did. But they could affect the future of another timeline. So think of the timelines as pieces of string.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, like
Think of them
branches
as
of a tree.
right,
Yeah.
like branches of a tree.
Mm-hmm.
And the MCU that we know is the trunk of the tree. That trunk is that trunk remains unaffected by whatever happens on those branches, because what has already happened on the trunk of that tree has happened. There is nothing to be done.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
so that's a very smart and logical way to handle time, which is why I said the whole thing about them using the quantum universe to go do it was great. Also, I like the way that they kept to what they were saying about the Soul Stone characters. And here's what I mean. Gamora was sacrificed to use the current Infinity Stones, which Thanos blew up.
Mm-hmm.
Black Widow was sacrificed to use the Soul Stone from the past.
Mm-hmm.
The Soul Stone wasn't going to undo that because it undoes what it took to get the stone itself. The stone's not going to go against itself like that. So I thought it was great. Widow's gone forever. She stays gone. Gamora's gone forever. She stays gone. Luckily for the Guardians, they got a new Gamora because she followed into their timeline. So there's already an alternate universe Gamora,
Right.
one that doesn't know Quinn, one that doesn't know the camaraderie of the other Guardians.
Mm-hmm.
So your idea of there being alternate universes, I think it's doable, but it won't be in a way that we see it, like how we have the Ultimate Universe, or how we had a lot of those what if universes and like those alternate future ones, like Old Man Logan and Ultimate Spider-Man, stuff like that. I don't think we're gonna see something like that. I think we might have a little bit of fallout from, say, some characters, some galactic characters who have cosmic powers going, you guys are screwing with things you shouldn't be screwing with. I do believe there's going to be some fallout from that.
Well, dude, truth be told, I mean, dude, I don't think we're doing time travel again.
No. I
I don't
think there's
think
going
we
to be
are.
repercussions though. Because even Barrymorto was very, very, very straight to the point. We told Strange, you cannot mess with time like this. You can't mess with the natural order. And if they went so far as to do Thanos in the Infinity Gauntlet, you might see somebody like the One Above All show up, or the Living Tribunal. They already mentioned him by name. You might see some cosmic entities start coming into play and saying, "You guys did something you should not have done, and you
Oh
guys
yeah.
have to be punished for it."
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I have no doubt about that. Especially since they got the Fantastic Four back now. So
Yeah,
you got Galactus,
right.
Silver
You got
Surfer.
you got Doom.
Um,
You have
yeah,
Doom to contend with.
there's a bunch of, but in that regard, Ryan, essentially you're just talking about like you're talking about like the just like the end of Age of Ultron, where it's
Yeah.
like that one incident was so bad
Mhm.
that it like it sets that precedent
Yeah.
for all the conflicts
Mhm.
to
I
to serve as consequences for that event. Yeah,
Like
oh, absolutely so.
each big
yeah,
event's gonna have like some huge ramifications behind it, like all the big like things that happen.
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely so. I foresee some retribution being handed out by a cosmic entity on planet Earth because you guys did something that you should not have done. And for that reason, to kind of kick off what Random Black Gamer said, the only place you can go after dealing with Thanos and the Infinity Stones is going Galactus. Maybe you can go Shuma-Gorath if you really want to go nutty,
Yeah.
but Shuma is one of those things that, like, that's a Doctor Strange-esque villain that you might go that way, because that was kind of like my gripe with the whole Infinity Saga. It's like once you go there, like you've escalated the scales to the point where what other threat could you have?
Yeah, I think that's
Like,
the beauty of the MCU though, because
yeah,
like they can go by a well-known character where we know all the statistics about, and we could say, oh man, like this from the 616 and this from like
right,
Ultimate 1610. But the
right.
MCU had like even though it favors a lot of Ultimate elements, and we haven't seen that much like 616 for characters like Spider. I don't think we've seen 616 for any other Spider-Man incarnations in the live action. That's just my opinion, but they have their own DNA. So they could add whatever they want to a existing character in the comic books. I mean, we've seen what they did with Ego, the Living Planet. Whether
Right.
you like
Mhm.
that or not. So
Hmm.
I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to play by their own rules. They're going to stay somewhat true to the character, but they're somehow going to inject their own ideas into them.
Oh, of course. They've already, they've already deviated from the comics so far. Like
Right.
they've gone off that rail so that they're kind of writing their own
Right. They have the
story.
the most ridiculous universe name, the Earth 1999999999.
Oh, whatever. I don't know the name. I'm not trying to get on that. I can't remember that. I
So
just know. Oh,
go
go ahead.
go ahead, Ryan.
I was just saying. I just know that the next set of Marvel movies are they're probably going to focus more on personal conflicts
Hmm.
of the in the lives of these characters dealing with the aftermath of Endgame.
Yeah,
But I don't foresee another uh stellar event like this happening on unless they go like someone in the chat said, unless they go Galactus next. To which I'm kind of tired of seeing Galactus because he always ends up being the big bad of the Marvel universe. I would love for them to do something else. Maybe have a storyline with the Sentry. Maybe keep it interstellar and bring in the Starjammer or something like that. But that remains to be seen.
yeah, I feel you. So all right. So at this point in the review, dude, let's talk about characters.
Mm.
Let's talk about characters. All right. I'll kick this one off. Um, so as my man Ryan Jones brought up earlier in the review, yeah, Endgame definitely did do a good job at actually giving us a conclusion to a lot of characters. Um, s- Specifically the first the main Avengers, the first Avengers. We got conclusions for all of them. Oddly enough, even like Thor and Hulk, right? Like even if we never saw those characters again, which I don't think will be the case, but even if we never saw those characters again, we got something of an ending for them, or at least a new. Well, let me rephrase that. We got a new status quo for them. Tony, we got an ending for, of course. Cap, we got an ending for. Natasha. I suppose you could say we got an ending for Hawkeye, but I mean, technically speaking, he's still around. So, but where was I going with this? All right, so pretty much, I want to hear you guys' thought. How about this? Favorite character in the movie? Let's play that game.
All right. Random Black Gamer, I'll give that one to you.
Oh man, Cap, hands down, bro.
All right.
I got the biggest pop for him. Like he got the biggest pop in my opinion for me.
I have to go with Thor Lebowski. Just
Me too.
every time Thor came on screen, I was just delighted to see him. The scene where he was in New Asgard was great. When he goes back in time to see his mother and he knows this is the day she dies, like it was great. And then you get that scene at the end of the film where Thor comes out with the hammer of Mjolnir and Stormbreaker in both hands, and he's just like, you know what, Thor, I'm about to lay the whooping on that ass. Like, come here, son.
Dude, did you know? I'm curious because I mean, of course, if you've seen the scene, then you recognize. But dude, did you notice? Because at the start of that fight, when he grabbed both of them, did you notice like his hair locked up and the beard got braided?
Yeah, the beard got braided.
I said,
my man was ready for battle.
I said, here we go, dude. But no, dude. I'm gonna double down with Ryan on that one. Thor was my favorite in this movie. I mentioned it in my Infinity War review. He was my favorite in Infinity War. He was my favorite here, and yeah, the scene when he goes back in time and talks with his mom. That's my favorite scene in this movie.
Yes, great.
Hands down, that's my favorite scene in this movie. I loved the conversation that they had. I loved the message that his mom gives him.
Eat a salad.
And that whole scene, as touching as it was, because of course we're getting closure. Because remember, Thor never got closure with his mom.
Right.
Yep.
You know, he never got that closure. He actually got closure with Odin. And he lost Loki, but him and Loki somewhat reconciled in Ragnarok. And then of course, you know, because their mom, she was the main motivator for the second portion of the Dark World. Which I still like that movie. I don't give a shit what anybody says. I still like Dark World. Dark World has one of my favorite MCU scenes in it. When Loki and Thor are on that ship and they have that conversation about their mother passing. And that's when they get into that argument. And then there's that line, dude, one of my favorite lines. My favorite Thor line actually is when Thor asks Loki, he says, "Oh, he says something like, will that serve your vengeance?" And Loki says, "Vengeance isn't in my nature." And then Thor replies with, "And surrender isn't in mine." I love that motherfucking line. Oh my God, I love that line. So yeah, when Thor's mom came back, you know, and they have their scene, but dude, do you all remember how that scene ends? The highlight of that scene, when he gets Mjolnir back.
Yeah.
And then what does Thor say? He says, "I'm still worthy."
Yep, I'm still worthy.
After losing his mom, his dad, his sister, his brother, his best friends, his planet, his people, his hammer, losing half of his friends from the Infinity Snap, killing Thanos, still being unfulfilled, going back to Earth, drinking, being a fucking bum. And to go, because remember how time works. The Thor that went back in the past is the Thor from Endgame. That is present day Thor. And for that hammer to still respond to him, to let him know you still fucking worthy. Never mind all that bullshit. You still got the chops. That's, dude, when that happened, I was like, praise, bro. I was like, yes. Yes.
I'll say this. Like, I think Thor was my favorite character in Infinity War, but in this, and I guess it's from like a marketing standpoint, because you know how they do with toys and stuff like that, you know, seeing the figures, you remember his actual action figure box art was the thing that revealed that they were doing the quantum suits. It was him and Rocket Raccoon. So after seeing this fat, you know, well, thick door, you know, and I'm thinking, okay, yeah, it's funny, you know. It's also funny that I was looking at the trailers and I was seeing the little biscuits he had in front of him, like in the aftermath, everything when he was still skinny. I was like, oh man, this nigga probably finna eat his way to like oblivion. And, you know, and he's on. I was like, okay, you're on a calorie surplus, but you're eventually gonna get back into shape. We're gonna get some kind of montage where you get back into shape or something.
I thought he was just going to lightning strike himself.
Or
being fit again.
Something like that, some kind of Asgardian ass pull, but we didn't get that. You know, he just stayed fat. You know, he didn't try to like spiffy up a little bit. He stayed in that bum attire. But I could essentially I could tell that it was trying to give a narrative story, give like, you know, he's at rock bottom, so he doesn't care about keeping himself up. Mm-hmm. One thing that I really appreciated is how the handling of Mjolnir was. Like, there was a stark contrast to the way that he handled, which was more brutish compared to Captain America's handling of the Mjolnir, which that nigga was thorough as hell with that. Mm-hmm. He act like he hadn't he'd been using the hammer all this time, like he was borrowing it when Thor wasn't looking at something.
Mm-hmm. He was practicing.
Like he been practicing, or he just been mentally training or something.
He is like, I know this hammer gonna be mine one day. Hey, let me hold on to it.
Right. And
nah, dude. When he chucked that motherfucker, dude, it looked like Cap had been like, all right. It's like, now I know he whipped it twice.
Right.
But if you do it 3 times and then you release it, you know, it gets a nice little swing. It's like, you know, if I kind of dip my hip like that, you know, hit it like Tiger. Just knock it like Tiger.
Yes.
Yeah. Said knock it like Tiger, huh?
Knock it like Tiger. You know, because you got to put the hip into it. You know, like Tiger.
It's like he was swinging them up like, yeah, I'm gonna get some sponsors off of this. But yeah, over 120 forms of martial arts with super soldier serum injected into him with the power of Thor. Bro, you can't get any better than that. You know, and just seeing how he was like such an underdog at the beginning, how people were sleeping on his movie and stuff, and watching him gradually grow to the character that he is now, and actually going back and seeing how wet behind the ears he was in Avengers 1 and noticing America's ass. That was
that boy said that is America's ass right there.
I knew that was going to hit me with a joke just the way he was laying down, because my girlfriend said, it's like, damn, that nigga do kind of got a nice ass. And he looked down, he's like, yeah, that is America's ass.
You were ready for a hit. Oh, yeah, that's America's ass right there, baby.
Yeah, man. But yeah, this was awesome. And I think they also kind of used a little of Ultimate Cap's death for Tony's funeral, because you remember, I think Ultimate Cap had like a similar funeral where most of the Marvel universe showed up. So I really enjoyed that, you know, how they were just injecting so many different elements that from a comic book fans perspective, you could see that and appreciate that also. But I really, really love that, you know, he got a chance to go back. I just wish they would have laid out a specific time that he went back. Did he go back to mess with 70s? What's her name? Peggy Carter.
Oh, he did.
Okay.
He ended up with her and got married, and my man had himself a slow dance.
Well, I mean, it doesn't, like, we don't know the time period, but I mean, Peggy was still young enough.
He had to go back to that time, since that's when he got the Pym particles and stuff, and they got that Tesseract from that time.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so she's a lot older than him during that time, at least by 10 or 15 years.
Okay.
He has to be.
Yeah, I see what you're saying now.
Yeah. So I don't know when, like I don't know. It's like that's something that kind of puzzled me, like I didn't know if he went back to that particular one. But nonetheless, it was cool that he got that. I'm just wondering if there's going to be any kind of ramifications in the future, that he possibly impacted. Because I know
Because that is the one change we know they did make to the future.
right.
It's Cap going back and staying in the past. We know that because it's the one thing that changed in the present was Cap came back, but he was an old man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because notice when Cap came back, he didn't come back through the machine.
Right.
He was already on that bench.
Mm-hmm.
Because that means that in the present timeline, that old man Cap showed up there because he knew they would be there.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why he's there. So yeah, now, so that splintering of the timelines that we talked about before, now that has happened because Cap has changed history now.
Yep. Yep. But he got just as many scenes and like good money shots in this than he did in an Infinity War. So I appreciated that, and I really loved like the little iconic scenes of him getting his shield busted up and how he's still willing to fight.
Mm-hmm.
And the shield basically represents hope, and it's getting broken down, and he's just at his last wits end, and you thinking it's, oh shit, like what else is he gonna do? And then everybody shows up on your left, boom.
First man out the gate. Out the gate, baby. I was like, let's get it. Let's get it.
And Larry, I'm with you, man. Like, I don't know why they're picking Captain Marvel to lead the charge when our boy Black Panther got him to the Oscar ballroom, like with me, I'm
he got him.
What they say? On my back.
Yeah.
On my back.
I was like,
Let's get it.
That's the one that y'all need to be letting lead the charge for Phase 4, man. He got y'all the highest box office for the solo superhero film. You know, want to remember the girl that got you to the Oscar dance. Go EP.
Oh, you know they're gonna take good care of Black Panther. They saw the money from that film and they're like, that's the golden goose right there.
Mm-hmm.
And
we'll see. We'll see.
Hey, I mean, I'm hoping for the future. They said Ryan Coogler, the way he wrote Black Panther 1, it was meant to be one of those one-off stories, and he made it so that, hey, this movie can stand on its own. But the talking heads at Disney, when they saw how much money they were raking in, they're like, "Oh yeah, I gotta make a sequel now." Like, don't think that y'all just gonna put this out and not have us make y'all make a sequel, right? You know they want it.
Oh yeah, I mean we know one's coming. It's been announced.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The sequel's been announced.
They're not gonna move until they get Ryan Coogler back on board.
He said he was, but he's I think he's shooting another movie right now.
We know how it goes with those movies, though. I think one thing that people don't realize about the MCU, like when certain characters are introduced, like Spider-Man, he's been in a film ever since his debut. No matter if it was his own film, every year he's been in a film. Same with Doctor Strange, even though he hasn't had a sequel since December 2016. He's been featured in a film every year. So, no matter what, you're gonna get your little doses.
Yeah. So, can I put least favorite character?
Least favorite character, the character who I just kind of felt was the most flat in that film, just based on.
I think I get the feeling. Well, I don't know. Actually, I'll be surprised.
Captain Marvel. She's my least favorite character. She was flat. She was very. There was no emotional weight behind her character arc and behind her as a character for me. And it's hard for me to care about a character that is damn near invulnerable. It's hard for me to care about Superman. It's hard for me to care about the Sentry. It's hard for me to care about these characters who are walking atom bombs. Think about that. Captain Marvel if Thanos wasn't there, could have taken care of Thanos' entire crew. Ships,
Could
enemies,
she?
all of them. Absolutely. You saw what she did to that warship. With not even breaking a sweat, she blew that thing to bits.
All right.
Her
Well,
power is near limitless. Like they've
I
shown
would
us this.
real quick, because if I don't mention this now, I'm going to forget about it. Um. So I'll just go ahead and chime in on this now. So I agree with you, Ryan. Captain Marvel was my least favorite. For those of you all who have seen my in-game expectations video, you already knew that because I don't care for that character. I don't care for this rendition of that character. I don't care for this rendition of that character. Okay, so don't care for the character, this version, right? Because I'm a Miss. Just for the record, let the record reflect. I'm a Miss Marvel fan. I'm talking about a Chris Claremont Miss Marvel's fan. I'm a Miss Marvel fan, right? But this Captain Marvel, this rendition of her from the comics, which I think isn't this the Marvel Now version, like the circa 2012 version?
This is like post Ryan Bendis, like Captain Marvel, like when the hype train was going on and Bendis had the keys to the kingdom and was just going ape shit with stuff.
Yeah, so we talking about like what,
Yeah.
2011?
2000, yeah, 11. Well, actually, like 09, 08.
Okay, so yeah, so like just after Civil War.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So yeah, and I'm a fan of like late 80s, early 90s Miss Marvel, or mid 90s Miss Marvel, if you will. So yeah, I'm not a fan of this version of that character, and then of course the MCU rendition, and then of course Brie Larson, like that whole package. Put that in a package now, right? Box.
Mhm.
And chuck that fucker in the seat. I'm not a fan of that package, right? Here's the thing though. Number one, I appreciate how little she's actually in the movie.
Yeah.
Thank God. Thank God. Thank God. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you. Jesus, thank you. I'm very happy how little she's actually in the movie. And if you really think about it, she only really does two things of consequence. Saves Tony, blows up Thanos' ship. That's about it. That's all she really does in that movie.
Did you have a problem with that? Because I know people had issues that she just pops up conveniently when Tony's just about to kick the bucket.
Because she's a Deus Ex Machina. That's why she's
Yeah,
there.
she's there second Machina. She like
She's Gandalf.
yes, but Gandalf was actually written to be interesting.
Yeah, I know. And Ian McKellen is amazing.
Oh, absolutely. Like that I mean,
We
she's
like
Gandalf in
Gandalf.
spirit, right?
Gandalf is a nice guy. You know, he smokes his little pipe. You know, he gambles on occasion.
He's witty, he's charming, he's a lot of things. Captain Marvel's just kind of an asshole with a lot of power.
She is. Now, this is the thing I wanted to bring up. Because I don't know about y'all, but I had a huge problem with this exchange.
Mm-hmm.
So she's questioned by Rhodey as to, well, you know, if you're so powerful, like, where have you been all this time? Her response is, the universe is a large place, and there are multiple planets dealing with the same thing that Earth is dealing with.
Mm.
Now, here's my issue with that response. Because when I heard her say that, I'm like, Rhodey should break his foot off in her ass. Number one, you are military. Correct me if I'm wrong. You are U.S. Air Force. I don't give a fuck what's going on in those other planets. Your loyalty is to Earth, one. And your loyalty is to Earth, one. You're human, two. And three, you're American. Four, you're American military. Rhodey is your commanding officer. You are out of line talking to that man like that.
I disagree with you on that. I
thought she was out of line talking to that man like that.
She's no longer human anymore. She's Kree.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
that blood changed her. And also, when you have power like that, Spider-Man, great power comes great responsibility. I get it. I get it. I don't like her attitude though. I agree with you about that. I feel like she's like a Vegeta without any of the backstory or the drive or the reasoning. Like she has like a massive chip on her shoulder for like no reason when
no,
compared
there's
to
a
the
reason.
other character, she's a walking god.
No, there's a reason. They just haven't aired. They haven't said it explicitly in the movie. We know why she has that chip on her shoulder. No one cares.
Right.
No one cares.
It was hard to relate to her movie back then, even because the explanation of her getting that good character moment was so stupid.
Yeah.
You have a little chip on your neck. And you say you've had your hand behind your back this entire time. Why didn't you just rip the chip out and just go full ape shit with your powers?
Right. That's again. I'm also happy that Captain Marvel wasn't in this movie as much as she as much, because I just can't stand the character. I think the character was hastily thrown together, lazily written, and like you said, she's a Deus Ex Machina.
Real quick though, I do want to chime in there. I heard, and I guess I forgot about this. She shot her scenes for this first.
I was going to say that she shot her scenes for this first,
because I had forgot about that, but no, I remember now, because remember, her casting was announced right after she won the Oscar.
Yep.
And Infinity, because remember, they shot both of them at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So this was already in production when she came on.
Right. And
it was months. I think. Shit, how long was it before they started Captain Marvel after this?
Mm-hmm.
Because if memory serves, she was announced in what, 2017 or 2016?
I think it was 2016.
2016.
Civil War came out.
And the summer of 16 was when they were shooting this. So wait, is that right? Summer of 16, or is it summer of 17?
I think it was 16, but I could be wrong, because I remember Kevin Feige was just talking about how, she's gonna be the best thing since sliced bread and chitlins.
Yeah, they were hyping her up.
Okay. Anyway, but that being said, I remember this was shot before Captain Marvel, so I'm not even sure. Just playing devil's advocate, I'm not even sure how much she knew about her own damn character when she shot this.
Yeah, I will say from an aesthetic standpoint, she's more pleasing to the eyes than she was in her own movie, because that's the Carol Danvers that I would want to see, with the short hair and stuff like that. And the sash is finally there, Larry. You know what I'm saying? Even though it didn't play out like I thought it was going to play out, there's no explanation about how she got the sash. They're probably going to say that for her film or sequel. But I can say that I like her suit from an aesthetic standpoint than I did with the other one.
Mm.
What you
that haircut was killing me though, bro. I'm glad Rocket said something about that shit, because I was like, for real. I was like, all right, I'm done. I said, y'all have fun with that.
Got that Brigitte Nielsen, man, from Rocky IV.
I'm like, y'all have fun with that. So, but no, I do want to bring this up, because I forget who it was that said that. Oh, yeah, it was Random Black Gamer that said, dude, I loved Hulk. I dug Hulk, dude. The diner scene. Oh my god, dude.
With all the kids.
Dude, I was loving Hulk. I called him the Brofessor. I was like, Hulk went full Brofessor. Dude, I loved Hulk. I loved it. I was so shocked. Because I didn't know what to expect from Hulk, given what happened with Infinity War. So when we finally got that version of him, I'm like, hey man, I'm cool with that, Hey, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I just wish that I was hoping that they would give us a scene that would make the guys that were coming at him so hard, especially after he got his ass handed to him in Infinity War. He's gonna at least have a fight scene with Thanos, and put him in his place, or that the original Hulk was gonna come out of him a little bit, especially after Natasha died. He found out about that news, like the original Hulk was gonna come out.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't play like I thought it was, and I guess that's why I'm a little hard on him. Pause. Because my expectations, but from a comedic standpoint, yeah, one of the best best parts of the movie, like when my boy Ant-Man's taco blew out of his hand, and him and gave him three tacos.
Yeah, that man, 3 tacos. He looked like one taco in his hand.
Right.
It's like there's an idiot in the and there's an idiot in the damn, what did they call it? In the landing bay.
Right.
Oh man, that had me rolling, bro.
So fucking weird, like taking a dump and doing all these things as the Hulk, and you gotta
Dude, I'm trying to figure out who's his tailor.
right.
Dude, when he showed up at the funeral with that, I was like, who put that suit together?
Oh man.
Who's his tailor?
Some kind of vibranium tailor or something like that with vibranium weave or mesh that's stretchable.
Another thing, speaking about the characters though, dude. Okay, so I will say this. I loved it, but at the same time, now I'm kind of mad we didn't get more of it. Dude, Hawkeye and Black Widow, bro. Like those two back on camera again. I mean, instant chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
I like Scarlett Johansson and Jeremy Renner. I love their on-screen chemistry. You can tell. Like if you were to tell me that those two did not get along in real life, it'd be hard for me to believe.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing about that. Let's be real about this though. You can tell, you can see the chemistry on camera. Like it's no mystery. It's no surprise why Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson teamed up for Men in Black International. Because when the motherfuckers did Ragnarok, they had chemistry. You see what I'm saying? Like you can tell, when the cast members have chemistry because they same thing with Don Cheadle and Robert Downey Jr. So or Robert Downey Jr. and John Favreau. I mean, come on, they bros. You feel me? In real life. So yeah, like their scenes together, I dug. I loved it. I have some reservations about Hawkeye's storyline just because I think it ended so abruptly. Like how is everyone just cool with him going around killing criminals? All right.
Right.
Like, once he showed back up, we just kind of set that shit aside and was like, all right, fine. We need you for this. Never mind all that other shit.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, for real?
Yeah, I think that was a total waste of the Ronin character.
Yeah, exactly. Like why? Like,
because you're using him as like, oh, he's a crybaby anti-hero. He's lost everything, so he's taking that out on the bad guys like Yakuza members. And after that, it's like, we need you for this. Let's go.
Yeah, like that. I just thought it was too easy. You feel me? Like I would have liked something like I wanted that to be resolved first. But the whole like just him and Black Widow, like their whole stick, I dug it. I love their fight when they were pretty much fighting to commit suicide. I'm just like, wow. No. And yeah, like Scarlett Johansson, she brought it in this one. She brought it in this one, I think. Granted, they didn't do too much with her. Well, they didn't do too much with Black Widow in this film, but they did just enough. Because once again, like you can make that argument when you view this as a solo film, but when you look at this in the entirety of the MCU, no, that's exactly where she'd be at this point. Mm-hmm. And it totally made sense why she would want to sacrifice herself. And it actually does. Y'all remember this? Y'all remember this pesky little thing? It's called an arc.
Yeah.
She fulfilled her arc too. Yeah. Because remember where she was at the beginning of Winter Soldier compared to where she is now at the end of Endgame.
Right.
Yeah. That's a different woman right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a different woman. Funny enough though, it's her arc mirrors Tony's a lot, if you think about it. Her and Tony have very much sort of a similar arc. The idea that they started out as self-centered and self-serving characters,
right?
And essentially had to learn to be willing to make the hard choices and the heroic decisions to become self-sacrificing people. Mm-hmm. Granted, though, Natasha, she got to her she got to like her midpoint a lot sooner than Tony did, and off camera. Because remember, she's already working for Fury when we're introduced to her in Iron Man 2. Right. But we know that her past wasn't as clean. It wasn't as favorable. So you know, that first portion of her arc does happen off screen. But even given what we're given of her, like I said, look at her in Winter Soldier, and then look at her in Endgame. That's a different character right there. Mm. So, but I thought that was good too. But yeah, Hawkeye just got away with serial killing. I'm just saying.
The thing that got me about that though was like Nebula, like she had already known that Thanos is going to Vermeer, whatever how you say Volmir, like he could only come back by himself. So when you think she would have given them a heads up, like, hey, I don't know about that. You know, we're gonna have to get somebody who's willing to make the sacrifice to do that. You know, so they wouldn't have just gone up in there just confused. You know, I thought she would have given them a heads up since she just saw the end result of what happened for Thanos to get the Infinity Stone or the Soul Stone. You know, she saw what happened to her sister.
I mean, it's hard for me to say that because you're assuming that that version of Nebula had that information. Thanos never told her what it took to get that Soul Stone.
The one that explained.
No, but she's the one who told she told the rest of the team when Hawkeye came back by himself.
But I thought you were talking about past Nebula.
No, I'm talking about the current Nebula that was getting ready to jump in time. Like, you know, when they were getting in their own teams to go and get the Soul.
Oh, snap. Hang on. That was past Nebula, though. The one that told them, because remember, they all returned to the launch pad.
Mm-hmm.
And Hawkeye's by himself. And they're like, what happened? What happened? What happened? And Nebula's the one that reveals that, you know, in order to get that Soul Stone, she was like, you know, Thanos went there with my sister and he came back by himself. But that was past Nebula.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. So they never knew what it took to get the Soul Stone until they got there. Because no one who was there to see the Soul Stone was there to tell them. And they didn't know anything about the Soul Stone to begin with. They just knew that it was on that planet. So Nebula has no knowledge that Thanos chucked her sister off the cliff.
Well, yeah, he does. Well, I mean, she knows that Thanos killed her.
Right.
Because she was there on Titan in Infinity War when everybody else found out. When Quill found out, she was there. She was right there.
Well, I mean, she doesn't know that he chucked her off the cliff, though.
Right, yeah, exactly.
He knows that, hey, Thanos is here, sister not, something's wrong.
Yeah, so she could have just said, hey, only one of you is coming back.
Mm-hmm. It wouldn't have mattered, though, because they would have taken that up anyhow.
Yeah.
You know, so
given the backstory of Natalia, just seeing how she really doesn't have nothing compared to Hawkeye, how he has a family to go back to, I'm pretty sure she would have made that decision anyway.
Oh, absolutely. She would have. 100 times out of 100. Because she realized that, hey, you got out. You were, you know, I was an assassin. You were an assassin, but you managed to get out that life. Hawkeye is their John Wick. He got a taste of the good life.
Mm.
He has something to come back home to. So I think that the plot holes in the movie are so small that they're kind of negligible. Like,
yeah,
to ignore. You know, it doesn't take away from the overall how good the movie was. You know?
There is one huge plot hole though. I can't even call it a plot hole. But wait, damn. Is my man Nick still watching this? I hope he's not watching this. Nick, if you still watching this, you better turn this live stream off, bro, because I'm about to spoil some stuff. All right. So let's talk about this.
Like, wait, bitch. Already.
Let's talk about this though. All right. So we do a 5-year time skip.
Mm-hmm.
And then we bring back everybody that died in Infinity War.
Mm-hmm.
Back to the present day,
right?
Which is now 5 years in the future.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when Peter goes back to school, why the fuck is Ned still there?
Yeah, I'm thinking that he got snapped.
I think Ned got snapped.
That's the only thing I can come up with, because even of Amy Pascal, the one of the executives over at Sony, had said that Spider-Man: Far From Home takes place after Endgame, like a few.
And he's still in high school.
Still in high school, so
But it's been 5 years.
So
right.
either Ned is dumb or Ned got snapped.
Got them good Filipino genes, man.
Dude, I'm just saying, when I saw that ending, I was confused because I'm like, wait, Peter wouldn't be in high school anymore. Why the fuck is Ned what? Yeah.
Because like I was so confused. So at first I was thinking, well, Kevin Feige just revealed that Spider-Man isn't going to be the start of Phase 4. He's going to actually
it's the end of Phase 3. Yeah.
So I was like saying, okay, either this happened before Infinity War and they're just filling in the gaps, or this is going to take place right after what happened where he meets up with Ned. Are they going to kind of like, my first assumption going into Endgame was that they're probably going to do something where they're going to like take it back to that spot where they should have like did something and stopped what's his name from doing the snap. And they're probably going to say, okay, take us back before all this shit even happened or something like that, you know. And that was how Peter was going to go to wherever he's going to now in Far From Home. You know, he's going to continue on his field trip, still be on the bus.
So they technically couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, that was so.
Yeah, like that's why I don't like dealing with time travel in movies, because
it's a mess.
Yeah, it starts to get a little funky.
Mm-hmm. Not that many people can handle that time travel. I'm looking at you, Saban.
Oh God! Please no. Yeah, all the next movies are gonna take place 5 years ahead of us trunks. It's the year 2023 in Marvel, so in MCU it's 2023.
All right, so let me see, what else do we want to discuss? Because we're coming up. I think we're coming up on like an hour and a half now. So yeah, just shy of an hour and a half. So what else do we want to discuss about the film?
I think you said that you wanted like Tony to get his little resolution, like actually get his rest. Did you like what they did with Tony Stark up in this movie?
So they did both
right.
of what I thought they would do, right? Mm-hmm. Like Tony got his happy ending, but then he also got to sacrifice himself, you know? Right. They did both. Mm-hmm. And I thought it would be one or the other. Mm-hmm. I didn't think they'd do both. So I was kind of surprised by that. I did like it though. I did like it. I did like it. I did. And it made total sense.
Yeah.
You know, like as soon as Tony got back, he was like, fuck this, I'm done. Yeah, like I totally bought that. I will say, cause y'all know how I feel about this. Cause I done commented about this many a times in many a reviews of many a geek info, you know, media. Cause the one thing that pissed me off about Tony's death, I'm like, oh, for real? So Pepper's gonna be a single mother then, huh? Huh? I was like, we doing that bullshit again? Okay.
I was so surprised that they let him, you know, spawn up in this movie, like have a child, you know, because I don't think Tony has ever done that in the comic books.
Yeah, he has.
He has?
Yeah. What's her name? Is it what is her name? Is it Antonia? I think it's her name.
Antonia.
No, he has a daughter in the comics. Oh. It's yeah. Is that her name? I think that might be her name. But yeah. Yeah, Antonia. Earth 81114.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Dr. Antonia Stark.
I was surprised they went with that though. And I think that, you know, that's cool because he has a legacy that'll live on, you know. And I really like that line that she said at the end when Happy asked him if he could get her anything, and she said a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Time and one.
Your dad likes cheeseburgers too.
I was like, okay, look at Uncle Happy right there, man. That's what's up.
Yeah. Dude, real talk though, that shit scene was hilarious. Dude. That had me rolling. That had me rolling for I mean, I guess I could talk about this on camera for some personal reasons, dude. Especially because that scene and then Tony's response when he said that's mom's word and we can't use mom's word. I'm like, dude, that's my niece and my sister right there, bro.
She coined it.
Yeah, because that's my sister's word, and I'm like, and so like, dude, that just reminds me of some stories I be hearing about my niece cussing, and I'm like, where'd you hear that? And then I hear, because like there was a time like my sister told me like, oh, your niece said this and the other. I'm like, well, that's your word. I was like, did she drop the F-bomb? She was like, no. I was like, okay, I know it wasn't me. If she dropped F-bombs, then that's not me. But if she ain't, if she said shit, oh, that's your word.
That's your word.
That's your word. But yeah, so that scene had me rolling, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, but like I said, man, Tony's ending is pretty much what I thought they'd do. Cap's ending was what I wanted them to do. I didn't necessarily think they would do it, but it's what I wanted them. I wanted to do Old Man Cap. I wanted to, and we did find like he passed the shield on to Sam. We saw it. So who knows? We might end up getting Falcon Cap at some point. I don't know about that just because
I think it's gonna be U.S. Agent, not Falcon Cap.
Okay, fine. Same difference. But so I'm not too sure about that because we know that Falcon and Winter Soldier are supposed to get their own series on Disney Plus. So but who knows? Like maybe they'll have their series and then he's Captain America in the movies. We don't know. We don't know. But I did like that we finally that we got that passing of the shield, if you will, that passing of the shield, and that it happened on camera. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that was tight, man. I know a lot of people had a problem with that. I was like, hey, where else could you go with it? I would like for Falcon to like be Captain America just because it's gonna give him more to do. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna give him a lot, to work with. But like Bucky, I think he can still be Winter Soldier Bucky, man. I mean,
yeah,
good presence, and that's a character that people have come to love, and people are buying his comic books. Falcon really hasn't really gotten that same reception that a lot of other characters had. He's kind of like played second fiddle,
because they only had him as Captain America for what, 3 years? No, 3 years. Because I think 2013 was when Sam Wilson Captain America #1 came out, was 2013. And then by 2016, we were doing Hydra Cap.
Yeah.
So, maybe was Sam Wilson 2014?
I know.
Yeah. I think, Sam Wilson was 2014 because it was the same year as Jane Thor.
Right.
Yeah, so that was 2014. So dang, he was only capped for 2 years. Dang.
Yeah, I just hate it because the Russos aren't going to be handling him anymore. Those are the guys who brought him in and showed what he could do. Like they are the super soldier serum of the MCU. They take everything about characters that is awesome already and makes them even more awesome. So, it's going to be weird seeing other people handle him, and make him do things. Hopefully they get a director that can, live up to or at least supersede what the Russos have done with him.
I mean, we'll see. It's
going to be like a buddy cop thing with him and Buck in the Disney Plus show.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Oh gosh.
Which we knew that was coming ever since Civil War.
Yeah.
Because that was everybody's response to him in Civil War was like, oh man, can we get like a buddy cop, like a Lethal Weapon show with these two? Which, yeah, I don't know. I guess. It's kind of funny, dude. Of those of what was announced of the Marvel Disney Plus shows, the only one I'm looking forward to is Scarlet Witch.
Yeah,
Wait, do we know if that one is Scarlet Witch and Vision, or is it just Scarlet Witch?
they say it's visions of Scarlet or Scarlet. I don't something like that, but it's supposedly it's not even going to take place in current time. It's going to go back into the 1950s. I don't know
What?
if these are just dirt sheet rumors or what, but that's what I'm hearing. Like it's confused the hell out of me. I don't know what they're gonna do with this story. Wanda, she has her own set of powers. She can make vision up in her mind if she wants to. Like she can be in reality. So we just got to
See,
see.
I thought it was going to be a series with the both of them, and I figured, especially since Vision isn't even mentioned in the Endgame, which I thought was kind of weird.
Yeah,
Um,
I think.
but I thought like that show would have taken place in between Civil War and Infinity War.
Yeah, that's what you would think, since that's when they were glowing closer to each other. They were growing closer. Maybe they would do it like that. Well, I don't know what they're gonna do with these shows. They could be filler, but since they say they're gonna be consequential, I'm taking it that they're gonna be set in the current times. And
And truth be told, like I wouldn't really put too much stock into those right now because they've only been announced.
right,
Like they're not even in production yet. Like, because remember, even like, yeah, granted, this is a streaming service, but let's be real about this, dude. Whether it's a streaming service or whether it's network television cable,
hmm
television series still operate the same way. You have to cut a pilot,
right.
and then based off of that pilot is whether or not you'll get a full season order. So let's wait until they cut a pilot first.
What do you guys think about Marvel actually acknowledging one of their shows,
Which one? Agent Carter?
Agent Carter? Like, you got a chance to see Jarvis.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
acknowledge.
yeah, but it wasn't the show that people have been watching. How many seasons of Agents of Shield does it have? Like 6.
Yeah,
It wasn't the show that everyone that all them people were watching,
yeah.
and they found out it didn't really matter much or nothing. Dude, is it weird? Is it weird? Agent Coulson does not come up
At all.
at all,
Yeah, I think that was mightily weird about it.
not a once.
Hey, it's like we had him in Captain Marvel. What need do we have him? We'll have for him in this.
I mean, would have been nice to see him, but
It's like, dude, that's like your actual originally created character. You should use him. But oh well.
give him some screen time and what's the swan song of this current iteration of the MCU. Yeah.
Oh man, got me yawning, bro. Ooh, it's that time, bro. Man. Yeah, we've been at this over an hour 30. All right, so real quick. All right, I'm getting ready to open this sucker up to some questions. So real quick, any final thoughts, you guys?
Yes. I think this movie was a great swan song. I like the theme that it all started with Iron Man, so it all ends with Iron Man. How this all this came about from Iron Man 1 being such a great movie, and they built off of that, and it ends with Tony. I think that they gave the characters who are exiting the MCU great send-offs that are consistent with their characters, and I am happy to see that most of these characters had great character arcs. Uh, there is a small part of me that wanted to see more setup for the future of the MCU to see what they have coming down the pipeline. Um, but other than that, I have no complaints about this movie. Definitely it warrants a full price. Go see it. Support this movie. It was, you could tell that this movie was a labor of love. That they put their they put their heart in this, and a lot of people felt going into this that, hey, this is the one. if this is the one movie you have to see, if you're gonna see one movie all year, this is the movie to see.
Yep. Yeah, no, I got to say is basically what he said without fully repeating it. I really got everything I've asked for, and I've always like said that nobody can replicate what Joss Whedon did in terms of like splash pages coming to life. Russo's, I'll say that Joss Whedon mastered it. Russo's perfected it with that ending act. That last act. They were actually able to do that and then some at the end and make an awesome splash page sequence. And everything, all the narrative threads and stuff for the characters was executed perfectly, in my opinion. Despite all my many gripes. Yeah, it's just gonna be a hard movie to beat, especially that final act.
Yeah. And yeah, so my final thoughts on it is just gonna be yeah, it was the ending we needed, but also the one we deserved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, kudos to everyone involved. I think they all did great job with it. So yeah, looking forward to see what comes down the pipe. Though I tell you what, though, I mean, we were invested in this for 11 years. It might be a while before I get back into another one, bro. I can't keep doing this, man. First Harry Potter. Well, no, actually, no. First one was them damn X-Men movies. First was them damn X-Men movies, and then Harry Potter, and now the MCU. I don't know how many times. Oh, and then but those are movies. But we talking about long-term commitments. I gotta throw Smallville in there.
Yeah,
that was 10 years. I don't know how much longer I keep doing this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Dang, bro. 11 years of this. But hey, dude, real quick, what's funny about that whole 11 years thing? Because I'm not even bullshitting y'all. I have seen each MCU movie, with the only exceptions were the Iron Man 1, because I miss seeing that one in the theater, right? But I did see it when it first came out. I bootlegged it.
Yeah.
But Iron Man 1, Thor 1, same thing. I skipped Thor 1 because I got an advanced copy. I saw it earlier. I saw it before it came out in stateside, because remember it came out in the UK a week early. So yeah, I saw it early. But yeah, Iron Man 1, Thor 1.
Mm-hmm.
Ant-Man 1 and 2. And then Captain Marvel. Out of 22 films, only 5 of which I did not see in theaters. I saw the 2 Iron Mans in theaters. I saw the last 2. The last 2 Iron Mans, the last 2 Thors, every Avenger, every Captain America, Doc Strange, Spider-Man, Black Panther, both Guardians. Saw all of those in theaters. I only missed 5. All right.
3 for me.
Okay, here's the thing. When they time traveled in this movie, real talk, we fucking time traveled.
Yep. I forgot to say that.
Dude, when when I felt it? I felt it when they went to the opening of Guardians. I was like, holy shit, dude. I was like, oh shit, I just time traveled. Oh my God, it's 2014 again. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yes, dude. So, dude, that added to the experience of this movie, dude, because we were time traveling right along with them.
Yeah,
along with them. And I was like, man, like, dude, when we went back to the dark world, I was like, dude, it's November of 13 again. I was like, oh my God.
Right. I actually got a chance to see a movie that I did not watch either, because I didn't get a chance to go see Dark World at all. And I didn't even watch Dark World.
It's a good movie.
It's a good movie.
It's a good movie. Fuck what everybody's saying. It's a good movie. And The Incredible Hulk's a good movie too.
Yeah, I like The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, no, no, there are bad movies in the MCU, but that's like Spider-Man 2 and
Captain Marvel.
Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are like the two bottom two. And I don't know if I throw Doctor Strange in there.
I have my issues with Doctor Strange, but whatever.
Yeah, me too. But I can't go as far as to call it a bad movie.
Yeah,
all right. So real quick for the last, let me see. What's my timestamp looking at? All right. So real quick for about the last 10 minutes, I'll go ahead and open the chat up to comments and questions. And those questions can be for anybody on the panel. Feel free right now to drop your questions in the comments. And as I mentioned before, super chats get top priority. So yeah, let's get the questions going. We got 40 people watching and 29 likes. What is going on, people? Let me ask y'all a question. Hang on, real quick.
Oh, you do have one for you.
I got what?
You have a question for you by a Katakuri fan?
Yeah, real quick. I got a question for y'all. Because we got 38 viewers and only 29 subscribers. Something is going on. So panelists, real quick, I'm a mute y'all real quick. Because I got to talk to my viewership real quick.
All right.
So let me ask y'all a question. Got 42 viewers right now. Okay, 32 likes. That's what I like to see. We getting that going. We getting that up. We getting that started. And I appreciate that. But I got a question for y'all. All right. Did y'all not like this video? Did y'all not like this review? Yes, no, maybe so. Hey, if y'all didn't like it, if y'all didn't like it, hey, is I'm here to provide y'all with some entertainment. If you didn't like it, feel free. Let me know. Hell, leave me some notes, man. Put me in. I got a question for y'all.
Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are
here? I just need to know.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
All right, let me go ahead and get my panelists back up in here. How do I unmute you guys? Oh, I think I messed something up. What did I do? What did I do? Uh-oh. Well, give me a second until I. Oh wait, Ryan and Espa, see if y'all can unmute yourselves.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I
Hear
can
me
hear
now.
You. Yep.
Okay.
All right, cool. So anyway, yeah. So okay, 37 watching, 37 likes. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you, Connor. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. I appreciate that. Hey man, I ain't no shame in my game. I don't mind chilling. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, man. But if anybody has any questions, man,
Yeah, we got one. All right. So first one, Katakuri fan. Larry, how do you feel about the way Thanos died? I was cool with it. So when he died at the beginning, I was kind of like, oh, for real, that's it. But then bringing him back, and then of course, the snap at the end, I'm like, because y'all remember what I talked about with the folly, right? Every villain got to have a folly, right? I like when villains fall victim to their own devices.
Yeah.
So I thought like that poetic irony. I like that. So I was cool with it. So is Banner permanently crippled? I don't think so. I think he just injured his arm.
Yeah, Banner has a healing factor, so I think he'll be back to normal pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just hurt his arm. I got a question. What do you think of the MCU heading into the Eternals? Also, do y'all feel that Adam Warlock should be introduced since Thanos is dead? Well, um, I don't really have too many thoughts on the Eternals, just because I was under the impression that was going to be a like isolated thing, a self-contained piece, not part of the MCU overall. So I don't have too many thoughts on that currently. But in terms of the whole Adam Warlock thing, here's the thing about the Adam Warlock thing, though. They don't actually have to pick up on that. You know what I mean? Because wasn't that a post-credit scene anyhow in Guardians 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they don't have to do anything with that.
Right.
It would be weird though to introduce Adam Warlock after you did the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to be in Praga Nation for a little longer, like in his chamber, because it's been 8 years, you know, because Guardians Volume 2 took place in 2015. And
Yeah.
so Infinity War.
Now, Volume 2 was six,
For 3 years.
17.
No,
Yeah.
it was 15 because it took a year. It took place a year after the first one.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You talk about in terms of the timeline.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the release of the film. We already know it.
Yeah, timeline. Yeah,
Exactly.
because it was a year after.
Yeah, which showed one of the biggest flaws, like when Stan Lee was reflecting back to when he called Tony Stark Tony Stank, which took place in, what was that, 2016, a year later.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't think they'll be revealing him anytime. So he's probably still in incubation or whatever, waiting for the big next big baddie to show up.
Yeah. I think that he may be a villain in Guardians 3.
Mm.
You know, or if not Guardians 3, I think he may be the next big bad. My brain's still I'm still trying to figure out where Marvel goes from here. They have a lot of directions. How do we feel about this? How do you feel about the Stan Lee cameo?
I thought it was funny. I'm curious how many people recognized him though.
Yeah, because I think I was like one of the only people that popped in the theaters when he showed up. And I
Because
think,
that's the thing. It's like unless you knew what Stan, I mean, yeah, there's the voice, but unless you knew what Stanley looked like back in the 70s, like you wouldn't get that cameo. So I'm curious how many people actually caught it.
yeah.
I think the like my crowd in my auditorium, it was a lot of like, was that Stanley? I thought so.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed though, because I was like, damn, man, they wasted that good tribute, you know, with the Marvel Studios rollout intro. I was like, they wasted that on Captain Marvel. It probably would have been the perfect opportunity for them to use that in this movie.
Mm.
But hey, whatever. And,
oh, the Stanley tribute, you mean?
Yeah, the tribute, like with the Marvel Studios logo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that there wasn't one in Endgame, but then again, like you said, I assumed it was in Captain Marvel, so
yeah, I thought they were going to use it again, but whatever.
I would have done it again.
Yeah.
How did Nebula survive killing her past self? It's not like Back to the Future, the way they explained it in time. Nebula killing her Nebula, that was Nebula from the past of an alternate dimension, basically. That has no effect on her present. So Nebula could shoot her other self and still be fine. However, that will have basically almost screwed up the timeline if it wasn't for Captain America going back and putting the stones back, making it so that the fight that they had, Nebula dying, never happened.
Any more questions? Any more questions, guys?
Shit. I'm stuck with that Nebula one because I'm like, hold up, wait. Yeah. How does that work?
That's my take on it.
No, because here's the thing about that. See, it's not the same thing like Captain America. Because with Captain America, he added someone to the timeline because he stayed in the past. But with Nebula, you removed someone. Actually, no. Yeah, no, it doesn't matter because that Nebula went to the future. Yeah, so yeah, you're right. Yeah, it doesn't matter because that Nebula in the past couldn't have gone. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I see your point now. Yes, yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Somebody said, any ideas on the next Black Panther villain?
I'm
not that familiar with his Rose Gallery, so I don't.
They kind of ran through his Rose Gallery in the first movie.
Right, because I know the original idea, well, at least Ryan Coogler's original request was to use Kraven. So they have to take that up with Sony if they're willing to share.
I'm hoping that's what they do, bro.
Right.
I'm hoping that's what I would do. Oh, that'd be so cool.
Because like Marvel, like they made some under the table deals before to get things done because that's how we got Ego, the Living Planet. You know, they had to make a deal with Fox in order to use Negasonic Teenage Warhead or whatever. So if they can pull a few strings and if the demand is high enough, maybe, you know, we can get my boy Kraven up in there.
Or I tell you this was another one I was thinking of, just shot in the dark, since, you know, superpowered beings, you know, in these secluded domains, and, you know, you're dealing with a nigga with royalty. Drop Namor, I'm just saying.
Oh,
yeah. You could do Namor.
But I think, dude, I'm thinking in this day and age, it's going to be kind of hard to do Namor when Aquaman did what it did in the box office, bro. I mean, he kind of got the, you know, Fishman King from Atlantis market cornered right now.
Yeah.
So it'd be unless of course you reimagine the character, you do something different with Namor.
Yeah, they would have to do that, you know. But then again, you know, like what makes these movies so successful is that they aren't really known in mainstream media that much, you know what I'm saying? Certain people know of Aquaman, but they don't expect that much from them. So if you can make them look badass and bring something new to the table, people will come and watch. And Marvel has more of an edge over DC in terms of that because, you know, they rely on the brand alone. So people will see.
Well, consider this. DC decided not to do Darkseid in Justice League because Marvel was doing Thanos.
Yeah, they both bounce off of each other. You know, we wouldn't have Civil War without BVS, whether people want to admit it or not.
So, because the original Cap 3 was supposed to be Serpent Society.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't supposed to be Civil War.
Right. Mike had to say, hell no, we finna go with this Civil War. We finna get it.
They could do. I think they could do White Wolf. Do another White Wolf or Nightshade. Those two come to mind when I think about that. But more often than not, if I'd go with Larry's idea, I'd really like to see Namor.
They're gonna have to have another popular name for like him to rely on, like a special guest. Just among those viewers. Like with Thor Ragnarok, he had the Hulk, you know, like a big name character.
But which character?
I don't know,
you know what I'm saying? Who would need it? What character needs it?
I don't know. I'm talking about Namor, you know, like the Submariner. Like have him.
Well, no, he would be an antagonist.
Oh, you want him as an antagonist? You don't want him as
that's how he was introduced in the comics.
Yeah, he was a villain.
He was a villain. Yeah.
I thought you were talking about it for a solo film.
No, not a solo film. No.
Well, shit, we won't have to worry about them criticizing him, like for having similarities to Aquaman. I thought you talking about if he came out with his own solo film.
I brought up Namor as a potential Black Panther villain.
Oh yeah, go for that.
Because both of them spun out of the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
And they were both antagonists when they were introduced. So that's what I'm saying. You pit T'Challa up against Namor. They're both princes,
right,
superpower beings, excluded dominions,
Yeah, I say
highly intelligent.
Yeah, well, he already has what I just said. He has Black Panther to fall back on, so why not? Show what he has. And then they can use that as as a platform for him to eventually get his own solo film, just like Black Panther used Captain America as a platform. We saw what he had to offer, and boom, the rest is history.
All right, so I tell you what, because I see Wakanda versus Atlantis. There you go. Now now all the questions are coming in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you see all the questions coming in now, right?
Yeah.
See, it's late and I'm tired and it's time to end this review.
Right.
So this is what's gonna happen. All right. Like I said, I didn't want to get into too many post Endgame speculations because I wanted to save that as a topic for another live stream. So that's what we're gonna do next week. Next Saturday, we're gonna do I don't know what I'll call. Maybe I'll call it like MCU. I might call it like Phase 4 speculations or something. But essentially, we'll do a like a big like speculation live stream. And what I really want to do with that one, and if y'all, Random Black Gamer and Ryan, if y'all interested in getting on that one, just let me know. We can reconvene next week for that as well. But I want to do this where it's like we'll do one portion like what we think is likely to happen, and then we'll do a portion that's what we want to happen. As outlandish as it may be, it don't matter. Sky's the limit. What we want to happen, right?
Right.
And then I'll also have we'll have an extended segment of that live stream questions, and we'll be fielding questions. So if we didn't get to your question tonight, screenshot it, write it down, take a picture, whatever you got to do. Everybody got a camera now. Ain't no excuse.
All right. And if you guys have like some super chat questions, maybe we'll do some extended discussions.
Yeah. So for next week's show, I like that idea. So yeah, like if it's a super chat question, we'll actually like field it like a topic,
right?
For instead of just answering it like actually field it as a topic. I like that idea. That's a good idea.
And Larry, if you're up to it, you can just take that snippet of that topic and upload it as a single video, and that person will get their name solidified in that video.
Yeah, that's possible. It's funny you brought that up because that's actually how I'm gonna be doing a lot of the like suggested videos and stuff moving forward. But they'll keep an eye out for that. Actually, what's today? Yeah, keep an eye out for that too. They'll keep an eye on the channel. All of my viewers, this upcoming week. This video will be up for a while. Next video won't be up until next weekend. But keep an eye out. There'll be updates, big things happening. That's what I've been working on pretty much all month. Through hell and high water, through fucking y'all don't know about this, through a neck injury, sinus infection, and a double inner ear infection. BPPV vertical.
Oh wow!
I'm still taking medication for it. Y'all didn't know about all of that. Yeah, that I'm curious how many people can actually tell in my Avengers, in my Infinity War review, and in my expectations videos. I did those sick. I was ill when I shot those. I don't know if y'all can tell. I tried to cut out all the parts where you can tell on camera that I was messed up. But yeah, I was sick shooting those.
I know you was sipping on something. I forgot what you said it was. It was
gosh.
for a sickness or something.
When I did my live stream like 3-4 weeks ago.
It was fun during one of those streams or something.
I think it might have been tea.
Yeah.
Might have been tea. Ryan put me on the green tea game, man.
Oh,
I've been on that green tea, bro.
Yo, it works, man.
It help you detox, boy.
I've been on that green tea, man. I've been on that green. I do like 3 cups a day.
What?
Yeah.
Man,
that's the recommended dosage. 3 cups a day.
You wanna take it to the next level, get a little bit of that honey, man, that 100% natural honey.
Well, I don't know if mine is like the 100%. I mean, I don't know if mine's organic, but I got honey. I put honey in it. Yeah.
Man, honey is honey. It don't matter what you get.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's what I do. Like I run the green tea. You know, I do my bag and whatnot. No, dude, peep this game. So you know those disposable coffee cups with the lids?
Yep.
I put my water in there, put my tea up in there, right? I let it sit for a little bit. I come back, take the bag out, put my honey in it, mix it up, right? But then guess what? I put the bag back in it and put the lid on it. That way the bag sits in it while I'm taking my time sipping on it.
Okay.
Now that's the real tech right there.
And I don't get any of the the stuff from the bag or whatever because I got the lid. It's blocking the bag.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah. Anyway, so sorry I went into that little spill. Once again, let y'all guys know. Stay tuned to the channel. There's going to be updates coming up throughout the week. Mainly in terms of what's going to be happening with uploads moving forward and what's going to be happening with the Patreon. Because I finally got the Patreon. I'm almost finished with it. It's almost ready to launch. So keep an eye out for that. In terms of uploads, the next uploads will be the Black Panther review. The Black Panther review is going to be should be the next upload, and then I have a discussion of the week topic that coincides with that review. All right, and so those should be the next 2 videos up for you all, and then of course that MCU speculations live stream that's going to be dropping next Saturday. Should be dropping next Saturday if everything goes according to plan. Yeah. All right. So before we hop off, Mr. Jones, let the people know where they can find you, bro.
Man, if you guys want to get in contact with me, you can hit me up on my Twitch channel at Twitch TV/Dimension Kick. That's Twitch TV/DIMENSIONKICK. And you can catch me on my Twitter at Mr. Big Diesel Jones, just without the S. Didn't have enough space for it. That is Mr. Big Diesel Jones without the S. You can catch me on there. I stream from time to time. I answer all questions. Come by, hang out, enjoy the company, like and subscribe. I'll be putting out more content as the month and as the year goes on.
All right, and Random Black Gamer, let the people know where they can find you, bro.
Yeah, you guys can find me at my channel, randomblackgamer.com, on YouTube or YouTube/randomblackgamer. Find me on there where we do all kinds of things like talk about video games, sort of talk about anime and other subgenres. I'm a jack of all trades and a master of none, so you can expect all kinds of content. And you can also reach me on my Twitter handle at randomblackgame. I couldn't fit the R in there because my name was too long. And I just want to give you guys a heads up. There are a lot of other posters out there pretending to be Random Black Gamer. So you might want to follow my header name, which is Ma Namek. It has like Ma M-A-H with a star in the middle and Namek, and it has a picture of Piccolo with a cigarette in his mouth, and he looks like Denzel Washington from Training Day. Whatever. So yeah, just look out for that, guys.
All right, cool beans. And yeah, so as I mentioned before, all my subscribers and viewers, keep an eye out on the channel. Yo, if you haven't liked the Facebook page, the link is in the description box below. Now, currently, me and Facebook, We getting into it because they won't let me change the page name. Every other page, the name is changed. If you guys have noticed on the YouTube channel, the name is changed, the URL is changed. On the Twitter page, name is changed, the URL is changed. Even the URL for the Facebook page has changed. The Facebook page is facebook.com/OAW Entertainment. Even the URL for the Facebook page has changed, but they won't let me change the name of the actual page itself. So it is still Otaku Assemble on Facebook. Link is in the description box below. It's also on my channel. If you guys have not liked the Facebook page, please do so. You can also follow me on Twitter, which that has a new URL now. It's twitter.com/OAWENTMT, abbreviation for entertainment, because for some reason they don't let you go over so many characters for your URL. But that is the official Twitter account. And like I said, I would prefer if people do both, but whatever your preferred method is, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Twitter, either one is cool. You want to know why? Because those accounts are linked. Anything I post on Facebook automatically gets posted on Twitter. So whether you follow me on Facebook or follow me on Twitter, regardless, you're good. But the reason why I'm bringing that up is because, guys, that's where y'all get the updates. That's why I leave the messages. That's where I share the news articles that I love sharing, courtesy of my mans over at superherohype.com. Shout out to them. But that's where I share all that material. So, like, if you just subscribe to me on YouTube, the only time y'all really see me is if I upload a video or do a live stream. If y'all want to get in contact with me, keep up with me, what I'm doing off of the channel, you gotta follow me on one of those social media platforms. You got to. That's how y'all that's how y'all are brought into the know. That's how y'all become the initiated. That's where the faithful reside. The faithful reside on the social media pages. All right. So with that being said, this has been Larry Williams, OAW Editor-in-Chief. That's you, Ryan.
Oh, this has been your boy Big Diesel Ryan Jones.
And this has been your boy RBG, Random Black Gamer.
All right. And before we sign off, I want to go ahead and I want to leave y'all with this. Quick. Just for the occasion. Doing this for the occasion. Where is my can't even find my file. Hang on a minute. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Yes. And we out of here. Peace.
Oh my God.